Here we sit with Jay and Jen.
So we never sit. We never do sit and talk.
We don't either.
You're going to see four very uncomfortable people here trying to act like we know what we're talking about. So
we all kind of learn from trial and error.
Yes.
So when did you start this journey?
We bought our property in 2018 at the beginning of the year?
Like in March.
Yep.
Because
and then you started building when?
We started building in the spring of
bathhouse.
2020. Well, the bathhouse, yeah, we started
down
building
there.
that the first year. But the cabin we started building the spring of May of 2020.
And we started building. We bought our property in 2019 and started our building project in June of 2020.
June of 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've just been recording your stuff a lot longer than we have. I've never thought of doing this. This was so foreign of an idea to me. I didn't.
You're going to be happy, though, in 10, 20, 30 years when, you can look back and see all the cool stuff you did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yep,
actually
that's
one
what-
of the things we talked about in our 4-year
When
thing.
we were all whippersnappers, young
No,
whippersnappers.
but we talked about that in our video that we made.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. You always want to document stuff.
You documented, yeah.
So I wanted to try to bring some normalcy to people. That was the big reason I started doing YouTube. Just kind of like make everybody chill out and know that the world is okay. That was my reason for doing YouTube. But anyway, why are you doing YouTube?
For a few different reasons. I just felt teaching people things.
Yeah.
It was
And
kind of
you'll-
thing. Everybody would ask me things. Hey, how do you do this? How do you do this? And just had felt the need to
You've
to
done
teach things.
videos on how to make bread,
Mhm.
how to can meat, a few other different ones on there.
Mhm.
Tutorials she likes to do. She loves to do stuff for people and she loves to teach people. So
That must be nice to have something to teach because I don't know how to teach anything.
Well, then some for our grandkids to look at in the future
Yeah.
years when we're not around anymore. It says, hey, look, that's Grandma and Grandpa,
That's awesome too. That's very cool. What about you? You teach all the time. She goes all out with everything she does.
Good.
So,
we need that in our lives.
yes, we do. Yes, we do. And our women have allowed us to do this crazy stuff, right? And they're happy to do it.
Oh, yeah. That seems to be one of the biggest hurdles for people wanting to go off grid is their wives won't do it with them.
Or their husbands,
Mhm.
spouses. Yeah, not both people are on board. So we could talk about that too, because that was one of Jen's requirements when we bought this property was that we have like a shower, and she didn't have to use a log in the woods to go to the bathroom. So
That's why the shower house was the first thing you built. It took you.
it took us a whole summer to build a shower house because I have no idea what I was doing. I still have no idea.
I think that's the first time we saw your videos. I remember you guys building that.
Well, what drew me to it was, okay, here's somebody in northern Michigan. We're in northern Michigan. A couple doing the same thing we're doing. Okay, it's fun to see other people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of want to do is be able to encourage people. Yes, this can be done. Everybody's situation is going to be different, but man, we've learned to downsize a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So your cabin is 16 by 24.
Yes.
Our cabin's 16 by 24.
Yes.
You built a side bedroom off from that.
We did decide to do that. We didn't know for sure like what the layout of the cabin was going to be when we started. Like originally, we were going to split the cabin in half, kind of similar to what you guys did.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to have a bedroom in the front, and then do just a little kitchen dinette or little kitchenette, kind of where our couch is at and where our pantry's at, and then just have like a little sitting room. It was going to be very similar to yours, just backwards. It was flipped around. Like you come into the kitchen and sitting area, and then you have the bedroom in the back. Ours was going to be very similar to that, yes?
Yeah.
And we were going to use, the only thing we had different than yours is a loft. Like we always had planned for the loft.
What do you think of a loft now?
A loft is like a house with a basement. Like if you have a house with no basement, you don't have any storage. So you guys, I know, have some trouble with that. Like,
Yeah,
not trouble, but you have to get creative.
Yes.
Correct.
So you've got these guys have gotten very creative with their storage space because they don't have a loft and you don't have a basement. Right?
And your house feels so much bigger, even though it's the same size, because you have that loft.
I feel that
The
way.
vaulted
I feel that way.
ceilings.
We have a very steep roof. I don't know what your guys' pitch on your roof is.
Our pitch is 612. I wanted
Okay.
to not look like a little pole barn completely. I wanted a little bit of pitch to the roof.
Yeah.
Wanted something manageable because I was doing it all myself.
Right.
But that's why we went with a 10-foot sidewall. It gives a bigger open feel, and we were able to utilize some of that high space for different things.
Yep.
Definitely.
A step ladder is your friend, but you have a lot of usable space in that.
Yes.
Yes. And that's with our loft. Like our loft, we don't really use the loft. Now it's finally, after 4 years, it's finally become a functional space for an extra bed, right?
Yeah, we'll build this winter. We'll build some storage and stuff in it. That'll be our winter project.
So yeah, we have the bed up there, which is nice. You guys built your little bunkhouse or your guest cabin because you don't have a loft or anywhere for.
Well, we needed something to cover our root cellar.
Correct. There you go.
We wanted a guest cabin, but if it wasn't for the need for the root cellar, it'd probably still be in the to-do list.
Yeah.
But we really needed the root cellar. Big thing for us is storing food. We want to be, not that we're super preppers, but we do want to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
If you got no place to store any food, well, then you're not being very self-sufficient.
Correct.
You may be off from the power grid, but if there's no place to put any food,
Freeze-proof place.
Yeah.
yeah, freeze-proof place. Yep.
There's always different options of preserving food, but
Yep.
Canning is the traditional method. Freeze drying, you can do that.
We do a bunch
Yeah.
of freeze drying.
But that's at a friend's house because she's got the power and
Yeah,
she gets
yeah.
to use it
Right.
in exchange for babysitting it for me.
There you go. There you go.
a freeze dryer, yeah, it runs for 24 plus hours at a high wattage. So, yeah,
That
if you got a
consumes-
small solar system, that's not your friend.
Yeah. So that's another obstacle. So that is one thing. Lots of obstacles.
There is a lot of obstacles, but wouldn't you agree that part of the fun is seeing what you need and then figuring out how to make it work for you?
For sure. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, even our bathroom and our bedroom, added on the bedroom, everyone says it's too small, but it works for us, and that's really all that matters is it works for us.
Everybody
You're
makes.
the only two living here.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone says we should have a bigger bathroom because it's like 5x4, but you just shower in there. I'm not like
That was a big challenge fitting.
watching TV
all
or
that stuff
anything
in that
crazy
little-
in there.
Yeah.
Like,
We don't hang out in our bathroom. We shower, brush our teeth.
Yep.
So and considering the different styles of cabin, like I said, being the same footprint.
Yep.
If you ignored our bedroom and you turned us into sleeping in the loft, it would create a few little different complications. There wouldn't be as much storage, obviously. But
That and the loft is just so incredibly hot in the wintertime.
the loft is not a full-time solution.
No.
Unless you.
But something like this is. Because
Yeah.
now we both have a place. If you got friends or family, a couple people want to spend a weekend,
Yeah.
hey, I got a spot for you.
Yep. 100%.
Remember when we first moved into our place, our son and his wife came up for the weekend. We had to put them in a local hotel. There just wasn't no place else to put them, which isn't ideal.
right? You want to have the whole experience, right?
Mhm.
So that'll hopefully be what this is going to be, like a huge asset to us. We're going to have so much
I have
stuff
a
get
lot
done over
going
here.
on.
Laundry, that's a challenge when you're off grid. So this is going to be our laundry. You guys have a long-term solution for laundry now? You were talking about bumping out the back of your cabin to attach it to.
We're still on the fence on that.
Yeah.
We
It's
have
where to put the water is our biggest dilemma right now.
that, and I just don't know I want to cut a hole through that wall.
Yeah.
I just don't know that I want to tackle that. But we are potentially, Barb keeps saying, hey, you want to think about, because we could easily put a lean-to off the side where the chimney comes out, that east side, we could easily put a lean-to out there. It's a 10-foot sidewall, so you'd have plenty of pitch.
Yeah.
And it's just pole bar metal, so it's just unscrew where you're gonna add it onto. It'd be an easy
Just add on a
addition.
And
side
do a
room, just like you
bedroom
did
like
your
ours. Yeah.
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 A bedroom or a more of a sitting area like you have. I mean, our bedroom's perfect where it's at,
Yeah.
but you can have that side room, and we could have a couch in there. We could actually have 2 people over and sit down,
Yeah.
because we really don't have a place for 4 people to sit in our cabin.
I really enjoy our sitting.
But we don't have many
Our sitting
friends,
space.
so
Oh, we don't have a lot of friends come up either, so
but we could put laundry in there. We could have a closet, because the closet space. We don't have a closet. We have high hanging bars.
yeah.
hang
We
above our
don't have
heads.
any closets. All our stuff's in 2 dressers. So like we again have space.
Dressers. You got room for dressers?
2 dressers. Yeah, that's it. 2 little like we could make the space more functional. Still, we have plans to make it more
We're gonna
functional.
do stuff up in the loft and have storage and build like closets kind of up there.
Yeah.
This winter, that'll be our winter.
That'll give us a lot more usable space. Right now, everything's just in totes, but it's way more functional space. Like we've made progress with it, slowly but surely.
Now the nice thing for us is that we enclose that front porch.
I was
And
just gonna
during
say
the,
that.
during the summer, we go straight to that after the coffee's poured.
Yeah.
We each have a little swivel rocker out there and sit across from each other and open the windows. It's like sitting outside
I
Fun.
without the bugs.
I really really like your full front room, your mud room or 3 seasons room. What do you guys call it?
It's a 3 seasons room, but I was sitting in there just the other day going, it really would be hard to insulate this and finish it off in some nice pine, and then we could leave that door open between them and actually have some heat out here and make this a usable winter spot also.
Yeah, maybe instead of bumping off the side, you could do that
We could do
or do
both.
both. So I did really like that about your guys' place. I like that your utility room is on the back. It's all attached and very nice and neat. I like your full room in the back and the front. Like if Jen and I were to go back, I really like the look of ours and I like the space of our mudroom. But if we could go all the way across the front like yours, that's very useful. Nice space.
Makes it more, especially in the
Yep.
wintertime.
Yep.
You know that one, and that's what drove you to even do this one is you got to have a place to put the boots or cover and snow, the coats.
Yeah. Yep.
So once you start pulling all that side and side 350 square feet, it
Gets small.
Pushes you out
gets
real
even
quick.
smaller.
Yeah.
So, although it's nice to walk into a nice warm cabin, it's not nice to bring all that.
Well, we recently
Right,
did
cold stuff
another
with you.
addition to our places. We bought a
Shipping container.
shipping container. We bit
Oh,
the
yeah.
bullet and bought the shipping container, which we spent the money to buy a nice one. I didn't want some old janky looking railroad car thing with graffiti on
That's
it. sitting
pretty
out
much
there.
what kept us from ever considering getting one.
But you split down the cost, even at, okay, lay it out here. We spent $4,000 with delivery and taxes.
Yep.
But it's 160 square feet. You divide 4,000 by 160. It's only $25 a square foot.
Yeah.
You can hardly build something for that.
And it's all done. Like exterior stuff is watertight, weather tight.
Rodent proof. That's
Rodent
the biggest
proof,
thing. We have
that's-
such a rodent problem in our
We're using it
sheds.
for some secure storage, but rodent proof is a big thing.
They've destroyed so much.
Yeah,
They've destroyed every small engine that we've got. They've destroyed our car.
that's yeah.
Well,
I
we're
get-
not putting our car in there.
Well, no, but
Yeah,
they're
they-
just destructive.
That's
They
one
are.
thing. Yep. Like you guys.
Do you like mice, Jen? I didn't think most people don't.
Our
We-
cabin.
We
I'm
need
just-
a barn cat.
Yeah, we need a couple barn cats because, and maybe that won't even fix the problem because you guys have cats, but are they outside all the time? Are
They're outside a
50,
lot, but
50?
they've taken care of a lot of what
They've made a big difference.
they made
Yeah.
a dent. But there's
We've-
always going to be mice.
I literally catch probably 2 to 3 mice probably every day. in
What kind
the
of
barn.
trap do you use?
I use the little just cheapies. I've tried the bucket thing. I have the bucket set up all the time now, so that catches them. we just bought something at Tractor Supply, like this little metal box that sits in the corner. I haven't caught one in that yet, so it's like we don't do poison because we don't like poisoning stuff. Plus the dogs are around, so I don't.
That's why we don't, because of the cats.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't
so-
really eat the mice. They usually just bring them as gifts and leave them on the
Chew
porch.
them on
But
for a while till they stop moving.
Yeah, having a proper like crawl space under your cabin would be nice to keep the critters out. The barn, and that's again another reason we built this, is because we originally wanted to make like a portion of the barn into like a baking area for Jen or like just a laundry room, but there's too much critter stuff in there. Like there's mice in there all the time. So this is going
To
be
be
a
able
critter
to be able to cook,
space.
when you got 350 square feet, to be able to use an oven in the summertime and not cook yourself out of the house,
Yeah.
it's nice
Yeah.
to have one outdoors.
And we were hoping to get to an outdoor kitchen. You guys have a nice little outdoor kitchen space attached
Yep,
to your
coming along.
woodshed.
Yep.
You guys just did a dry pour.
Yep.
How did that work out?
It was, when I first seen your first dry pour, I thought, whatever. To be honest,
Yeah, I mean,
but after visiting here, it's like, you're right. You're not getting a cement truck up here.
no,
Which for that application, perfect. For what we did, it was 1 yard of concrete.
yeah,
It was 80 square feet. So to be able to do that and not have to be stuck to a timeline of keep mixing, keep pouring, keep mixing,
Yeah.
to be able to just put that out there,
yeah,
get it smoothed out and do it at your own pace. And for where it's at, it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a perfect surface. We don't want it to be a smooth surface. You're going to slip and fall on that. But
yeah.
to have something level to set the table on, the stove on, and all that stuff, I'm 100% believer in it for the right application.
I don't.
He knocked it. He didn't want to do it last summer, and I made him.
Well, I just you have your
I made him
just
do
like
it.
Dad. You think what the heck? Why would I do that? But even wet pour, and I try to explain this to people who comment on our videos about it. Like wet pour, like you said, it's a lot of work. It's constant. You have to do like
Mix it up just
mix
right.
it for hours because you just keep going, and then it's going to harden. So you're on a timeline. And Jen and I aren't professionals, so it's probably going to look worse than this dry pour does because I don't know if I'm going to be able to float it and smooth it out and make
I've
everything.
done my own flat work and houses I built, and I don't do it anymore. I'm that bad.
Yeah, well, people just
When you
think.
go to frame in your basement and you got to cut each stud to fit the.
Yeah, no, I've never done wet pour like on a flat surface. Like we use wet pour for the foundation for the tracking system. That's the only thing we've wet poured, right? So I mean, and it look. I like the look of it. It's like a half mix between wet pour concrete and like exposed aggregate. Like it's just sandy. It's gritty.
For somebody that wanted to try and do a small pour, that's never done cement before, it's a perfect way to go.
Yeah, and if you're not driving on it, you're not like
I even
smashing it with a sledgehammer like all the people on YouTube do.
I debated over a period of time whether I wanted to put some rebar in there just for the strength, and thought, I came out I don't, because
Yeah.
if it goes bad, I don't want the work of breaking that out of there.
That's another thing, yeah, for sure. We put the mesh in there
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called. It's not
It's like-
rebar, but
it's like cow paneling.
it's like cow
kinda.
paneling,
Yeah.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, I felt like that at least gave it something. But the one in the mudroom, we did not build the mudroom on it. We put posts in the ground, so because I didn't trust putting all that weight on it, and I didn't want to attach it to the cabin and have it settle. Yada yada.
Oh, I wouldn't do
yada.
it for
So,
anything structural.
Yeah. So I
If it's
went.
going to have a vehicle on it, if it's going to have a building sitting on it, no way.
Yeah, but for sidewalks, for little slabs or little patios, I feel like it's a great.
I mean, you could do that out here
That's
under
what we're
your
gonna
maple
do.
syrup
This
spot.
mudroom's
Yep.
gonna be
Yep.
a giant one. We need to get like
We're
another
ordering
100.
the concrete Monday.
We need to get like another
So-
100+ bags, and I want to do right here, so it's not all dirt. But he doesn't want one here. I want to do 6 concrete, make concrete little step like patio kind of squares,
Well, I was against the concrete in front of the cabin because of the industrial like look. Like everything's so natural looking, and people have said that on the videos. Like I don't like it because it doesn't fit the cabin, and I kind of agree, but it's so functional and so
But
easy.
they're not the ones tracking dirt in the cabin all the time.
Right, exactly. So what were we talking about before that? Yeah, we're doing that for the maple syrup. So I got a really good idea. You'll really like it. It's something no one's done before. So
You're
we're not telling Dan or Barb either. 'Cause
We're gonna do a big wraparound deck on this whole thing though too, because on that side we're gonna put like a greenhouse kind of area and cut some branches down. And
what
we're-
else are we talking about? Do you guys
Well, we
do they
were-
have a hot tub? You guys have a hot tub?
No.
We want to build a sauna though. That's got to be one of our projects.
I would like that too next summer maybe,
I've never been in a sauna.
or this
I don't think
winter.
I've ever been in a sauna.
They say that it has incredible health benefits.
Maybe we'll build one this winter.
I bought you the book.
You did buy me the book. I haven't read it though. I don't read books.
I know, with some pictures.
Okay, I can look at pictures.
All right, so back on cabin track. Right?
So you did all exterior wood. Explain why you did that.
I just was in my head.
Okay.
That's how I imagined my cabin looking, and
Mhm.
I like the look. I don't like anything else about it,
Okay.
like as far as it being not real weather tight and longevity, but I like the look, and I hope it lasts. If we stain it this year, which you've been putting it off for a couple years, if it lasts for 20 years, I'm happy. I really like that about your guys' cabin, like low maintenance, like
Well, that's the thoughts I had when we decided we're gonna go ahead and do the cabin. Is I want something that I can just leave and it's maintenance free.
Yeah.
You know, we were spending winters in Mexico. We like to travel. We spend a lot of time in the UP. I don't want to be doing maintenance. So,
right.
and it's fast.
Yeah,
You get you order your steel cut to the length you need it, and you screw it on, and you don't have to paint it. You don't have, and boom, you're done.
and it's
I've done
pretty much forever thing.
2 houses ago. We built a woodside house,
Mm-hmm.
and the maintenance of it just turned me off.
Yeah, we've fortunately not had a ton of problems with like no critters have chewed on it, no woodpeckers. I don't know if they don't like the poplar. I don't know. I mean, poplar is obviously a hardwood.
Why don't
Like
you Shushugi bound the whole thing?
I thought about maybe doing that with this.
Okay.
Like do the same live edge, but show shiggy mat. But I don't know if the look would be. I'd have to see what it looked like. Cause we're not doing that. I guess, but it would be cool. Like it would be.
Don't overdo it.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't set her up on.
There ain't
set
no
her
fire
up
truck
with-
getting up here.
No. So I mean, I like the look on. What is it? Wild Wonderful. They have it on theirs, but they like kind of hit it with steel wool, don't they, and lighten it up. It's not like black.
I haven't watched that much of it.
Yeah, like you imagine Shoshigi Ban or Shoshigi Ban, whatever it's called, is like black, but I think they hit it with the torch and like hit it with like steel wool or something. So
Okay.
you still see the wood a little bit, but it puts that char on it. But I don't know. I just we haven't had any critter problems, so that's good.
That's a
We had,
bonus.
we had a mouse or two get into a hole in a certain spot, but we fixed
Never in
that
the-
problem.
Never in the cabin though.
No.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
How much does it cost you to insure this whole homestead?
We're just very careful.
Exactly.
Yeah, just be
Exactly.
careful and
I
use
see that.
common sense.
Well, that's why I asked that. It's a joke. I see that question come up a lot. How do you get insurance on that? Well, when you're doing something like this, it's my opinion. This is your project.
Yeah.
You're doing it. If you get hurt, if it gets destroyed, if something happens to it, because insurance company won't touch anything like this.
No.
They don't. They will not underwrite something like this. We've looked into it, and they just no.
Yeah.
So
Even if it's
you take all
is it
proper.
because of the self-built and it's under your own terms, or is it because of the solar? Like a lot of people have trouble with solar.
Well, what it is
Was it the off-grid thing? Was
It
it
wa-
the not finance thing? What is the thing that the companies told you why? They said no.
Hey, do you have an address here? No.
Yep.
Do you get your mail here? No. Is
Yep.
it, down to it, it's just a recreational property.
Right. Yeah, you're not. This isn't your dwelling, so they don't do non-dwellings. I mean, they do barns, but if
Those
you
are
don't have
those are on usually on
a rider or something,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, just be careful.
You're your own insurance company.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much you guys have invested into your building itself, but I feel like we have around 20 to 25 in our building.
Yeah, we're gonna do an
Like
updated thing on
everything,
that
so
too.
we'll do an updated cost video for everybody.
You know, I couldn't.
Soon,
People have
but-
asked that. I couldn't tell you exactly what it is because we just use cash, and if you need it, you do it, and I
Yeah.
forget about it. But I added it up once. I think for the main, just to get into the main cabin, we had about that 20 to 25 mark.
So I mean,
That
it
sound-
would
and
be
that was back. We both built in the height of COVID when
when
prices
stuff
were
was
crazy.
expensive. Yeah. Yep. We beat that a little bit. You know,
Did you?
like we started right. We got all the sheeting and we reused a lot of stuff, but a lot of the lumber we got.
Yeah, we bought
was-
everything, and then it started to raise like late summer, so we got.
Yeah. So we beat it a little bit, and the metal was cheaper then too. So like we beat it a little bit, but it was getting expensive. Like all the stuff we did the second year. That's why we did the
Milled
year of
deck.
21. We milled all the wood ourselves with our sawmill. One, we had invested in the sawmill, so we wanted to get our money back out of that. But the lump, it would have cost $5,000 to build that deck. It
Yeah.
cost us $250
Right.
worth of lag bolts and screws and fittings. So that was why we did that deck that way. But yeah, I mean, it would be a huge blow to either all four of us if we lost our property to fire or tornado. It would be a huge blow. But $25,000 is you could do it again if you had to, right?
You could.
Yeah.
You could.
We don't want to. We don't want to. But
But you built with cash.
yes,
We built with cash.
debt free, all DIY. So trying to think.
Any major things you would have done different, looking back at it? I think one of the biggest things, and I should have paid more attention to him. I know you watch Boss of the Swamp. I remember watching one of his videos, and I should have really paid attention to it. But he said the biggest mistake people make with building cabins the way we have done is not building it high enough off the ground.
Yeah.
So where I have my plumbing run through for all the drains,
Come here.
it's not real easy getting
Scout,
underneath
come
there.
Yeah, I thought I built ours up high enough. When we when we put our posts in the ground, I used all the ground treated ground posts from my brother's deck that he ripped apart. So I had a certain amount of posts, and I put them in the holes and moved them around and jengaed them around. I'm like, okay, I want this to be like at least 2 foot off the ground, but then I didn't have one pole long enough, so I used all reused stuff. So that's how we determined how high ours was going to be off the
Okay.
cabin. It's not a good way to do it, but it is only about a foot off the ground at the front, and it's about 2.5 feet at the front or at the view side. So
I've seen videos of you crawling around underneath there. It doesn't look real comfortable.
no, it's okay at the other end, but this end is very tight. And the older I get a little more claustrophobic. I used to not bother me, but
How's your gray water holding up?
it still moves down, still
Okay.
goes into
It
the
just
ground.
Gets
Just
full.
2 showers and doing laundry or dishes at the end of the night. You can tell it starts to come up into the shower.
But it
after
like gets a bubble in it or something.
Yeah, I think we need to put a vent pipe in. I was going to talk to you about that off
Okay.
camera, but
because it'll like get bubbled up, but then it like
just
takes
sits
a minute,
there.
and then it doesn't like
It
slowly
pushes.
drain. It just burps and then boop, gone.
We do have to have proper venting.
So
yeah, I think I'm going to dig out the back end of
I'll
it.
go put you
and
guys in the
put, like,
cabin.
Show me what you
just
got.
in case.
We'll
Come on,
just see
let's
what I
go
can fix.
So,
Let's go inside the cabin real quick, boys. That way you're not causing me
like
trouble.
you opened yours up, right? And you saw what it looked like
Oh yeah,
when
we
you had a problem. So
we did the same style to start with.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we dug my son was helping us move in. He dug the hole. We put those half barrels down, and I put a plastic over it to keep stuff from falling into it. And we started filling it. It looked like a body was big.
Yeah, yeah.
But we filled that up, and then we it worked fine for us. We were there for August, September, October, and into November. We didn't stay that winter. We weren't ready for a winter in there.
Yeah.
And when we came back in the spring, the thing started raising up out of the ground. I don't know how deep you have yours buried. Ours was maybe a foot under the soil. You could see it starting to raise up in there. It's like, that ain't good.
Yeah.
And then I dug it out and pulled it up, and that whole bio layer just covered the bottom and the sides and just had nowhere to go.
See, I thought originally I did our whole cabin an inch and a half too. So it's like there's no solids. So I thought, well, it'd be okay to do inch and a half pipe all the way from the kitchen, all the way through the bathroom, and to the tank. And the more I thought about it, like, well, maybe I should have done like at least 2 inch because it would have let a little more air. Like, because it goes through the P trap, and then it kind of like, I don't know. I'm a plumbing. I know how to do plumbing, but I think I undersize stuff. But I also think I need an exterior vent on it because it doesn't like slowly go down like you would assume it's slowly seeping into the ground. It, like Jen says, it comes up in the shower a little bit, and then it'll just sit there for 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden it goes bloop and goes gone. So I think it just needs an external vent. Like,
There's no vents on their system?
I rigged one into by the kitchen sink, like
Okay.
for an inlet, because it was the kitchen sink was gurgling. So I put like a little T in, and then put like one of those little Schrader valves or something like.
They call them cheater vents.
Yeah. So, but that still didn't fix it. But like I said, there's no vents on the tank,
Okay.
and there's no vents past everything. So I'm thinking if I dug out the back, like the far end of the tank, and I could add even just a little 1.5 inch like vent pipe out of the ground and put a S curve on it, or
Yeah, you'd want the vent further up in the line.
I don't know. Like you have stink pipes in houses for a reason, right? Because it helps vent. But I thought with it being that little cheater valve by the kitchen sink, I thought that would alleviate our problem. But I don't know if it's becoming a solid mass of water and pushing it to the tank so there's a big air bubble in there, and then it eventually just works its way out. And I don't remember exactly. I'd have to rewatch our video how I went into the tank. I don't know if I just went straight into the tank or if I elbowed it to go down. I don't remember how I did that. I'd have to.
It's funny
Check it
when
out.
when you do something, you're like, I'll always remember this. And
Yeah,
6 months later, you're like, what?
yeah. It's like solar.
Pictures do help.
Yeah, everything.
Oh, yeah, you were asking me solar questions, and I just like, I haven't thought about solar in so long. Our
I know.
System's been, and so I went back and watched some new solar stuff just to
We
to
got
get back up on it.
we got panels there. We got really nice batteries.
Nice whole new system. I'm like you, where I do all this research. I spend all this time learning solar, and I understand how it functions. But I put it together obviously correctly, or good enough.
You haven't burned
And
anything down yet.
Yeah, nothing's burned down in 3 years, knock on wood. But it's like now I have to go back and rebuild a whole new system, and I'm sitting here looking at stuff. I'm like,
So is this new system
Like,
48 volts?
yeah,
Okay.
48 volt everything. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's changed so much since we did our solar system, because people were doing all different sizes, and what we researched for what we needed at the time worked out perfect. And we're on a 12 volt system. And are you going to change? Well, I ain't going to change it now because I got 2 inverters and 2 charge controllers that are 12 volt.
yeah,
I'm not going to go, and I spent a lot of money on them, and they're good, and
yeah,
it
good
works.
quality.
But if I had to do it over again, if I build another cabin someplace, I'd probably look at 48 volt.
Everything's going that way, and
Yep.
everything's very affordable that way, and it reduces the cost for wires and multiple things. There's
It does.
multiple perks to it, and it's just whatever is popular is typically what you can find information on. It's typically priced well. So if, like you said, even
Well, let me go back to the beginning of this. Before you started doing that well, did you think you were ever going to get power up here?
I had no.
No, he knew we had to
And
do
that's
solar.
why we weren't going to build back in the woods where we were. It's like, we're not going to pay for power to come back here ever.
Yeah.
We'd never pay that bill. We could get it, but we ain't going to pay that.
Yeah.
That's when we decided to go with solar. How much did you know about solar when you first started doing work, putting it together?
Zero.
So I just want to mention that as an
Yeah.
encouragement to people that want to do something on their
For
own, that you don't have to be an expert on it.
And I've
Just start piece by piece and
Yep.
start working with it.
I've encouraged people through the years to buy that one panel and that one battery and that one little cheapy charge controller. Like you
Mhm.
can buy on Renogy, even you could buy it for $150. You can get a
You can get them cheaper
solar
than
panel.
that.
Yeah,
now.
they're cheaper now. Like I haven't even that's another thing. I haven't even priced out little simple stuff. Little solar panel, little $20-$30 charge controller, and go buy yourself a marine battery and just start learning. Just start with something small. We have our first system we set up on our bathhouse is just that. There's one 100-watt solar panel, one deep cycle battery, and that $20 charge controller. And it's been sitting there for 4 years, and it's still sitting there
We have
working.
the same thing in our outhouse.
Yeah, same thing. Like you just flip a switch, and it's 4 years later, and it's still
The
working.
light bulb still comes on.
Yeah. So I mean, like you said, just start small and do your research. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. It takes a long time.
And that's a interesting subject in itself because YouTube videos. As I said, I started watching, checking out some more stuff on solar stuff, and I found some on there that was like, I know more than you. You are
Yeah.
telling people wrong
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
So you do got to kind of pick and choose, and I would definitely
Pick the big channels to watch.
Will Prowse. Will
Yeah.
Prowse knows his stuff. He seems like a
Yeah.
little goofy guy.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
reviews stuff, and he reviews them hard, and he really knows what he's talking about. He's a good one to watch, easy one to learn from.
His older videos are the best for beginners.
Yep.
Like his new stuff is just to keep content coming and to keep us all up to date on what's going on in the world of solar. But his 5-year-old videos are still relevant to
Yeah.
people that are
Oh, yeah.
beginning. And that's exactly my system is based on his 24-volt solar blueprint.
Yep.
It's an exact replica of it, and that's really the only reason I could figure it out. If I sat there and tried to look at stuff and figure it out on my own, I would have never done it, and it may have burned my cabin down. Who knows? So I could duplicate stuff. Like I have the
Yep.
skill set to do that. I don't have the skill set sometimes to create things on my own that'll function well, but to duplicate stuff is doable for anybody. So you don't have to be brilliant.
I guess the whole premise of this is it can be done.
Oh yeah.
We've both been doing it for
Anyone
years.
can do it.
We've, I mean, you come from with various skill sets, and you got to learn other skill sets, but you got to pick the right place. That's another thing. How do you find the right off-grid property? You really need to do your research.
Look.
What's the
Look.
township ordinances? Who are the neighbors?
The
I was looking at a
neighbors-
piece of property. I was about ready to buy it. It was up on the hills like this that you have here, but I talked to one of the neighboring farmers who's like, people around here really, really have a hard time finding water.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, moving on.
Yeah, they neighbors, like you said, are talk to the neighbors, but have good neighbors. Like I know.
Yeah,
it's,
if you go find a piece of property, you go and talk to the neighbors, and they flip you off and tell you to get out of here. It's not a place you want to buy.
we've looked at dozens and dozens of properties before we settled.
We did too.
Got this
We
one.
did too.
We looked for years. Like it's not something you just decide. Okay, I'm ready to go buy property, and then you go buy it. You should look at it for a year or two before you're even ready. And then by the time you find the right one, then you'll be ready.
Yeah.
So, neighbors, like you said, we wanted to be not in the middle of nowhere. You guys are,
Not in the middle of
Not in
nowhere,
the middle
but
of
far
nowhere.
enough out.
yeah, you're not in the city, but you're not.
We eventually want to get to the middle of nowhere, but we're working on that.
So
But that's another thing. You don't have to quit everything and live as a hermit.
no,
You can still work.
yeah, I
Barbara
will.
and I still both work full-time jobs, and we're able to make it work with us, two of us. Barb's a candy machine. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got it made. She takes care of a lot of stuff.
You're a pretty lucky guy. I'm a pretty lucky guy. That's another whole video, I think, guys. We'll do another whole video with talking about some of the misconceptions and misunderstandings of YouTube or of
Off grid.
off grid because
Everyone thinks you got to be living in a self-made tent in the
Yep.
middle of the woods without any sort of conveniences at all.
Yeah, nope. You're not living in a cave. You're not living without any modern conveniences. You could live a normal life.
You can.
Still make money because we talked about that in a different video. How income is important. You don't get to eliminate responsibilities when you go off grid. You're actually creating just a whole new giant list of responsibilities.
Hey, yeah, you got to think about the end game too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't anticipate myself using a walker and going out to chop wood.
Correct. Yeah. So let's
You do have to think about a future retirement.
and do it. I would say as soon as you can.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to start doing stuff when I'm 65 and building. I want to enjoy all the stuff I've built
I want to
when
go
I'm
fishing.
65. Yes, exactly. So I think we're gonna do another video about all that stuff, like some of the
Yeah,
misunderstandings
sure.
about off grid and just the whole lifestyle in general. So we hope you guys enjoyed the video, right?
Yeah.
Hope you learned a little something.
Hope we gave some encouragement.
Yes. So if you guys have any questions or there's things that we left out of the video, make sure you
Ask questions.
ask questions in the comments.
Questions are important.
Yep. It helps the video and it helps other people see this video too so they can, get some expert advice. Dan's the expert here. I'm just I'm just a hack. So and make sure you guys, if you're on our channel, Off Grid with Jay and Jen, you check out A Different Kind of Quiet with Dan and Barb. They have incredible
Well,
property.
we're just getting started on
You guys have
it.
incredible
One year
property.
we've been doing it.
Yeah, and your videos and stuff. You're like Barb said, or she wants to teach everybody stuff, which I don't do. So if you want to learn stuff, go there. So
And if you're on our channel, go see Off Grid with Jay and Jen.
yes, we appreciate you guys all hanging out with us. You guys appreciate you guys coming here to hang out with us.
Yeah, it's always
Always have a
fun.
good time.
So, but we're gonna go light a fire and eat some food.
Chill
Which
out.
is always a good
And
time.
maybe we'll put a little insert of that in a different video. So if you want to see something other than us just yakking for like half an hour, then check out all our other videos because we try to have fun too. So
Very true.
It's all fun.
it's all
That's
fun.
why we do it.
Most
Yeah.
of the time.
So we'll catch up with you guys in another video. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Bye.
Bye.